Hey, what's the deal, family? It's your boy Dre back with another episode of Talking to Myself. I'm pretty sure if you haven't been under a rock, you've known the big story of the past couple weeks or whatever about this Titan Submersible that turns out it imploded. It was like pretty much like a submersible that was going down to go see the Titanic, and they were looking for him. Niggas got lost, and it's been determined that that shit imploded. So pretty much, yeah, that's what happened. And now I guess like they're just trying to figure out. I guess like, well, actually, hold up. So it says was an implosion, and uh, what would have been like for the passengers of the Titan. So pretty much says for days the world could imagine the grim scene. Five men cramped in a cold, dark tube, knowing that they were about to run out of air. In reality, those aboard the Titan submersible most likely died instantaneously in what officials called a catastrophic implosion. So, pretty much like the deep sea water pressure that appears to have crushed the 22-foot craft would have been roughly the equivalent in weight to 10,000 tons wrought iron Eiffel Tower. So, all right, so the colossal forces would have acted so quickly that it would have been like the vehicle's carbon fiber hull suddenly vanishing before anyone inside knew what was happening. So they would have, so basically, like they wouldn't even know like what the fuck happened. That's basically what they're saying. Like they wouldn't even have time to react. With the submersible imploding, like it's just like pretty much like hold up, like that, just that, like you know what I'm saying. Like you probably faster than that. Like niggas would be dead before they even fucking knew what was going on. Like one day, one moment they chilling, like oh yeah, the next thing they gone. So it says they would have known nothing. The minute this body of water hit them, they would have all been dead, says Paul White, a professor at England's University of Southampton, who specializes in water acoustics and forces. So it says, with the vast search effort now over, the focus now turns to the many unanswered questions that remain. So, uh, says though the tourist sub lost contact around an hour and 45 minutes into a 2 hour dive. It was found. It was found with a seabed. Yeah, found on the seabed around 1,600 feet from the Titanic's bow. So officials don't know yet exactly where or why the tourist sub imploded. So they don't even know like why this. But I can probably tell you why, because like the materials that they use is not really, I guess, like to build a sub, like it wasn't really built for deep sea pressure. Even though they had like they had some other dives like under there, but pretty much I don't know if they went too deep or if the material was just like fuck it, because it was just like carbon. I think it was like what carbon fiber shit. They didn't even really use like real metal, which is what you're supposed to be using. You're supposed to be using like steel or something like that. Like that can withstand the pressure of being down so far. Because the Titanic is at 12,500 feet down, and it says the water pressure is nearly 400 times more than the ocean's surface. So some 6,000 pounds would have been pressing down on every square inch of the Titan's exterior. It says if you translate that physical force, it's going to be in the order of high thousands of high thousands of tons to 10,000 tons. So the analogy will be the weight of the Eiffel Tower being the kind of loads it's experiencing. So I guess it's kind of like the Eiffel Tower just falling on the fucking sub. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But from what I heard, like I guess I seen a video and it was a guy like describing like what an implosion would be like, and it said like pretty much like the pressure like inside the sub would have like pretty much like liquefied them, because it said like it would have been as hot as like the sun in that bitch. So pretty much like it would have liquefied them. And then I guess like the pressure like imploding the sub, like it would have just like fucking, I guess like crushed, it would have crushed them. And then like pretty much like the liquids, the liquefied remains of them would have just been like, once the sub exploded, like it just be in the sea, and I guess like the sea creatures just be feeding on that liquid, on the liquefied remains of these people. So that's why you probably won't find any body parts at all. So now, pretty much, so the guy going on, Blair Thornton, he's a professor of marine on was it autonomy, and he's also at the University of Southampton, who designed and built dozens of robot operated sea deep submersibles. Rodderman said at the University of Portsmouth, or Portsmouth, whatever, agree with the Eiffel Tower analogy. His work has taken him to the near depth, the near Titanic depths in the Indian Ocean. Oh, so okay, I didn't even learn new shit every day. I didn't even know what the fuck the like which ocean that the Titanic went down in. So I guess the Indian Ocean. Descending, well, it's at the Indian Ocean now, so I don't know where it originally sank at, but it's at the bottom of the Indian Ocean now. His work has taken him to the depths of the Titanic depths in the Indian Ocean, descending to observe geothermal hot springs at around 11,400 feet, in the Japanese submersible Shinkai 6500. Unlike Titan, Shinkai is owned and operated by the Japanese government and has been rigorously tested throughout its 1,500 odd missions. So, for what I heard, it's the company that owns, Ocean Gate Expeditions, that owns the Titan, that pretty much was like cutting corners, build it in a material that it wasn't supposed to be built in. So it's all types of shit, man. Like this shit was pretty much doomed from the start, and they had like two dives prior, and then like the dive before this dive that went horribly wrong. They actually got lost for like at sea for 2 hours. So I don't know why people still signed up for that shit and paid $2,500 for that. Well, not 25, $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, hey, if you want to waste $250,000, you can go ahead and just deposit that shit in my account. You know what I'm saying? I'll waste that shit on some bills. You know what I'm saying? Put a down payment on a house. Fix my car up. You know, if you want to waste $250,000. But the shit is just wild, and I just see people, on the internet like, oh, you know, don't make jokes and y'all mean this could be your family members and blah blah blah. I'm like, first of all, my family broke, son. Like, there's only a few people in my family that can afford to do some shit like this, and then the people who actually can afford to do some shit like this have common sense. They're not gonna go down to go see the Titanic. If they want to see the Titanic, they're just gonna pop into the fucking double VHS or watch that shit on streaming services, because Netflix is being petty, and they about to bring that shit back on July 1st. They're about to bring the Titanic movie back on Netflix on July 1st. I'm like, yo, y'all niggas petty as fuck, yo. That's a petty move, but I'll probably do that shit too. But hey, man, might as well get some likes off this shit. You know what I'm saying? Get some views. But yeah, man, like it's a lapse of judgment, and the only person I really feel sorry for is like the 19-year-old that went down there. You know what I'm saying? Like just to appease his father, because his father was like, yo, this is, for whatever reason, the dude, he was like a Titanic, I guess like fiasco. Enthusiast. That's the word I'm looking for. He's like a Titanic enthusiast. So pretty much like, I guess it was Father's Day. I don't know if he guilt tripped his son, but he's just like, put the pressure on him, like, yo, please, it means so much to me, I guess, blah blah blah. So the son didn't want to go. The 19-year-old didn't want to go. He didn't feel comfortable going down there, but he did it to appease his father, and pretty much got him killed. And I'm just like, damn, yo, that's fucked up. Like, if you want to do some stupid shit on your own as a parent, go ahead, do stupid shit. Can't nobody stop you. But once you get your child involved and you get your child killed, like that's wild, son. Like that's wild. And it's like, yo, how could you not think that something could possibly go wrong with this shit? Like, you going down in the sea, no matter what this company is telling you, you signing off waivers and shit. Like, oh no, it'll be fine, blah 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 blah. Like, these motherfuckers don't even know if the shit is gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because they had a couple of trips, it just takes that one fucking trip. So, Christine Dawood, the mother of 19-year-old Solomon Dawood, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and wife to Shahzada Dawood. I believe he was like the billionaire. Well, he's a billionaire, what he was. Both who were on the Doom Submersible, has revealed she gave up her place on the trip so her son. Damn, so she was supposed. It's like some fucking Final Destination shit. So it's basically like she was supposed to be on that bitch, but she gave up her seat so her son can go. And it says Miss Dawood and her 17-year-old daughter Alina were on the Polar Prince, the submersible's support vessel, when the Titan lost communications and was never heard from again, she told the BBC. So it says the mother of two revealed she stepped back to allow her son to take her place. See what she. So she was saying he was so excited to try to break a Guinness world record while on it, but it was reports saying that he didn't want to go. So it's conflicting reports and shit like that. But so yeah, so that was it. And I guess, like, Shahzada, he was born in Pakistan, and he lived in, I guess, Surbiton in Surrey. I have no clue where this is at. The 40-year-old was a business investor and serves on boards of a number of charities and organizations. When he died, he was on the board of the Prince's Trust International and the vice chair of Pakistan's Engro Corporation. So I guess, like, you know what I'm saying, as bad as this situation is, she done came up on some money, dog, because more than likely she probably going to inherit that money. Like, her and her and the daughter, because they the last ones left in that family now. But yeah, like, this is what happens when companies are allowed to cut corners. Someone should have blew the damn whistle if they knew that they wasn't building these submersibles right. I hope Seagate gets shut the fuck down and not allowed to continue to operate, because pretty much, like, you out here getting motherfuckers killed for no reason just because you want to save a couple dollars and not build these submersibles, like, in a correct manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, like, the liability that you're gonna go, and the lawsuit that you probably just open yourself up to is unnecessary. But still, like I said, it's just the unnecessary loss of human life. But people, stop being, especially white people, stop being fucking obsessed with the Titanic. That motherfucker sank like mad long ago, and it's at the bottom of the ocean. Like, what is the point? Unless you're going down there to go get some treasure or some shit, or you didn't found a treasure, who the fuck cares that you can? Oh, I went down to go see the Titanic and shit. At the end of the day, it's not gonna give you no value. It's not gonna bring no value to your life. You just be like, oh shit, I saw the Titanic. Like, that's like me being in Vegas, where I walked by the block or whatever, and, like, fucking one of the tour guys like, oh, this is the corner where Tupac was shot. I was like, oh shit. we were at the same place, but like it didn't bring me no value to my life and everything like that. And besides, where the fuck, why would you want to go see like a disaster anyway? Like shit is just weird. If you want to see like some dead motherfuckers, just go walk past a cemetery or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't go past like a major car crash or a major pileup and just be like, oh shit, yeah, this is where this big ass pileup happened and like mad people died and all this and that. Like just leave these people alone. Like maybe that's a warning. Like Titanic, just be like, yo, leave us the fuck alone. We down here. Let us rest in peace. We chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it, man. Like the Titanic, just getting motherfuckers killed out this bitch. Like, just leave that shit alone. Like, just use some common sense and leave that shit the fuck alone, please. So I guess like they still trying to find answers as to what happened. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you can figure out what happened. Actually, hold up. So, is anybody like seeking any criminal charges? Any criminal charges about to get brought up? I'm like skimming through this article. It says Florida couple. Okay, Florida couple dropped lawsuit against Ocean Gate CEO Stockton Rush. So, all right, so they had a lawsuit, but it has nothing to do with this. Like, it was a Florida couple who sued Stockton Rush for refusing to refund a $210,000 deposit for Titanic shipwreck tour. Have dropped the lawsuit after the Ocean Gate Expedition CEO was among 5 to die in the catastrophic implosion. So I guess they figured like my man died, so I guess one, we can't really sue him, but you can still sue the company, and then two, maybe they figured that the company is gonna go out of business or something like that. Like, nah. Until they actually go out of business, I would have kept my lawsuit, dog. Like, hey, sorry the nigga died, but I need my $210,000 back. You know what I'm saying? But I guess like these motherfuckers is rich as hell, so $210,000 ain't gonna hurt them since they dropping their lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? So Mark and Sharon Hagel alleged that OceanGate repeatedly canceled tours and then refused to repay their deposit. So they was out here just scamming motherfuckers. Like, so, I mean, hey, I don't like to talk bad about the dead, but Stockton Rush did look like he was like a little scumbag. You know what I'm saying? Out here finessing motherfuckers for for their money. Like, come on, dog. So yeah, so it says son turned down father's offer to bucket list trip on doomed Titanic sub over safety fears. So it was a 20-year-old man who had luckily escaped from the doomed Titanic sub disaster, has revealed how he turned down his father's offer on a bucket list trip, what is a quote unquote bucket list trip, because he feared the vessel wasn't safe. So yeah, so this dude actually used his noggin and pretty much didn't go down there. So yeah. That's all I can really say, man. Like, stay the fuck out the ocean, because we still don't truly know what the fuck is in the ocean. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just know, like, we know a little bit about what's in the ocean, but we really, really, really don't know what the hell is in the bottom of the ocean. And it could be, like, some fucking all types of shit down there. You know what I'm saying? Some fish that we ain't never seen before. It's probably some big-ass motherfucking fish down there that we ain't seen before. Y'all niggas they're not gonna be I guess like happy until like motherfuckers wake up Godzilla or some other kaiju or some shit. You know what I'm saying? The Meg come out finally and shit after all the speculation and start eating motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave these people. I said leave these people. Leave these creatures alone. Leave the sea alone. Yeah. I don't even go in the ocean, dog. Like, I might put my feet, you know what I'm saying, watch the waves come up on the shore, get my feet wet. That I don't go in the fucking ocean, man. Jaws scarred me, so I ain't that adventurous. You know what I mean? But yeah, stay the fuck out the ocean. That's all I gotta say about that. R.I.P. to the 5 people that died. You know what I'm saying? You died needlessly on some silly shit, but you still died. So rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say about that. All right, so I actually happened to stumble across another article that I found interesting. Now, so pretty much like we are approaching the July 4th weekend. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cookouts, a lot of alcohol being consumed. It's going to be a lot of state troopers and police out there trying to regulate the traffic and all that stuff, making sure people aren't too intoxicated to drive. Probably a lot of fucking field sobriety tests going to be given out. A lot of what are them? It's not traffic stops, but it's checkpoints. Checkpoints and all that. Making sure motherfuckers is wearing their seatbelts and make sure people ain't drinking. But so with that coming up, so it says traffic fatalities tend to rise in the summer. Already the season has been deadly, and with the upcoming July 4th weekend is widely considered the single most dangerous time to be on the road. So it says other countries have managed to make roads safer, but not in the U.S., which is not surprising. The U.S. hasn't made a whole bunch of shit in this country safer, so why would they make why would they make traffic deaths try to prevent traffic deaths? So it's like the U.S. Has the most traffic deaths per capita. Well, it's because a lot of people have fucking cars in this bitch. Um, so in 2020, the coronavirus reduced road deaths worldwide because people were forced to stay in the home. But the U.S. bucked that trend and saw rising traffic deaths, which spiked to a 16-year high in 2021 before a modest decrease in 2022. So, White House Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre has says we have faced a crisis in America while talking to Yahoo News last month, pointing out that the number of people who have died on the roads each year is, last year is 42,795, is comparable to the number of those killed by guns, which is 48,830 in 2021. It says it shouldn't be this way. So, as with gun violence, the U.S. stands apart from peer nations in Europe and East Asia. All right, so Americans drive more, which leads to more crashes on roads that facilitate unsafe driving. On average, Americans drive more than twice as many miles as the French, more than 3 times as much as the Japanese, and far more than even residents, in neighboring Canada, and have many more road deaths per capita in comparison to Germany and the UK. And Germany has the fucking Autobahn where you could just go ahead and just do whatever the fuck you want on that bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can go as fast as you want on there. There is no speed limit. So that tells you something. They out here zooming and shit on the fucking Autobahn, but they not really crashing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a lot of people in this country that can't fucking drive. There's a lot of people that don't know the traffic rules, that they don't know the traffic laws and everything like that. Most of these people can't even put on a fucking turn signal. So how do you think that these people are going to operate their vehicles safely? Now, myself, I trust myself to drive. I don't trust anybody else on the road to drive. So I'm good with myself, but you can't really predict, what these other drivers are going to do. You don't know if someone is driving under the influence. You don't know if someone's distracted on their cell phone. You don't know what the fuck is going on. So might be someone's out here suicidal and shit and just want to go. They want to go, but they want to take as many people out with them as possible. There's some people out there like that. So, there's a whole bunch of shit that could be a factor in it. But it says other countries have prioritized road safety through measures like lower speed limits. But you can lower speed limits in the United States, and these motherfuckers is going to speed right past that shit. I done seen people do like 75 and a 25, you know what I'm saying? They got fucking protected bike lanes, people driving in the bike lanes, people cutting each other off, people playing chicken, all types of shit in this country. Shit is just wild. As they tend to have much better commuter and long distance train networks. Yeah, our train network sucks in the United States. It's the only time I really hop on the train is and I go from Trenton to New York City. It's about it. cross country, I haven't really taken a train since like '99, and like that was going from like Philly to VA, and that shit sucked ass. President Biden is a train guy himself, and has vowed to improve Amtrak's performance. But his signature legislative achievements, the bipartisan infrastructure law and the Inflation Reduction Act, spent hundreds of billions on dollars on repairing roads and making electric vehicles more accessible. Now, although the Department of Transportation is beginning to work on safer roads, making roads safer, the funding seems, I guess, tactically or I can't pronounce this word. But anyway, acknowledge that the car reigns supreme. So cars are also getting bigger and heavier, and thus more doing more damage to anything and anyone that they hit. So Jennifer Hamidi says, "I'm concerned about the increased risk of injury and death for all road users from heavier curb weights and increasing size, power, and performance of vehicles on our roads, including electric vehicles. Because like these cars, like these car manufacturers, they always like, oh, our car can go faster. We can go from 0 to 60 in like fucking 2 seconds and all this and that. And these people are buying that shit and they really out here testing this shit. Like, people be out here speeding, distracted. So it says drivers also face distraction from smartphones and built-in digital consoles. A new BMW has a video game console for the driver. What the fuck? What BMW is that? Oh, they got a built-in video game console. Like what they got in there? Like what BMW is that? And I'm gonna have to Google that shit. Drivers also face and a new read that a new in response to Yahoo News, Jean Pierre pointed out that the National Road Safety Strategy now being implemented by the DOT. But most of the measures outlined in the plan are small scale, like considering a rule-making effort to require seatbelt reminder systems. I don't understand that. Like, why motherfucker? I guess I kind of get it because like people, they be like, oh, it ain't gonna happen to me until like you fucking flying through the window. You flying through the windshield and then like you die immediately on impact once you hit the goddamn ground, or like you know what I'm saying, you seriously maimed or fucked up. Like even if you do survive, like I always make it a point to put my seatbelt on. So changes in policy may also be responsible for seeming prevalence of bad driving, which all too frequently goes unpunished. So several high-profile cases in which police officers killed black men. Walter Scott in Charleston, South Carolina, Philando Castile in Minneapolis began as traffic stops that escalated quickly into needlessly fatal confrontations. During the racial justice protests in 2020, many reformers called on police departments to refrain from stopping motorists in minor infractions. Well, for minor infractions. Now, police departments had their own motivations for to make fewer stops, not wanting to attract scrutiny from a public that some law enforcement officials said did not fully grasp the risks of their profession. An apparent protest of an intense new scrutiny, and perhaps in retaliation for vocal anti-police sentiment, officers across the country became less attentive to fulfilling their duties. So it says, while some celebrated this pushback, others worried that less proactive approach to road safety by police departments has endangered Americans. So it's a whole, like I said, it's a whole bunch of factors that factor into why people are dying more on, pretty much like the road. So it says earlier this month, Florida legislators allowed speed cameras to be installed for the first time in the state. In Los Angeles, unarmed civilian motorists may soon handle driving violations. So what does that mean? Unarmed civilian monitors may soon handle driving violations. Okay, so let me click on this. What the fuck does that mean? Back in LA. So let citizens enforce traffic violations. So most traffic enforcement in Los Angeles should be done by civilian workers, but only in tandem with major infrastructure upgrades. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Just trying to see what that means. Yeah. Headlines describing road violence involving pedestrians, bicyclists, and motorists have piled up in recent months, including one case last month in which police say a possibly impaired driver barreled into a mother and a 6-year-old as they walked to school in mid Wilshire. The mother was killed and the daughter was critically injured. But yo, how the fuck? How are you impaired like that? That's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning when the kids go to school. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, fam. Like, you can't. Niggas is really getting drunk at like fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. That's wild. Like, as soon as you wake up, you just start drinking. But according to the LA Police Department data, 312 people were killed in traffic collisions in 2022, a 5% increase over the previous year, and a 29% increase over 2020. So yeah, man, like this shit is fucking it's out of hand, man. Like for real, like these traffic deaths and things of that nature, shit is out of hand, and the country's got to do better. Baltimore is installing speed bumps. I even seen in my hometown of Willingboro, New Jersey. Like came back over there. There's like this one particular road that everybody speeds down. Pretty much Pennypacker Ave, well Pennypacker Drive. So they installed like some speed bumps from the beginning to the end. So I was like, at first I was like, yo, this shit is kind of annoying, but now I see why they did it. New bike lanes have come to Pittsburgh, Oklahoma City, and Chicago. So it says systemic change has been harder. Earlier this year, the parents of Sammy Cohen Eckstein, who was killed at the age of 20 on a Brooklyn, New York street in 2013 while fetching a soccer ball, pushed for a state law that would allow for a 20 mile per hour speed limit near schools. The bill failed, but Sammy's family remains committed to using his memory to make the streets safer. And his mother, Amy Cohen, says, "We are fighting until the end." So, yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up, man, because I just found that interesting. And everybody, every day, not just on July 4th, you know what I'm saying? Be on these roads, be vigilant, be careful, always be around, be aware of your surroundings. And just operate you know, operate your vehicle like you want to make it home and you want other people to make it home because not only, do your decisions affect yourself, but they affect others as well. So if you get behind a wheel and you're drunk, you could kill multiple people and ruin and alter other people's fucking lives just like that, just because you want to be a dumbass and be hop behind the wheel while fucked up and nobody took your keys and everything like that. So, yeah, man, like just be safe out here. That's all I can really say. And I pray that everybody makes it home every day. And yeah, that's about it, man. All right. So, this particular story actually, I'm like, yo, I got to keep my head on the swivel now and just pay attention to these motherfuckers that's in my car now. So, I am an Uber driver. It's one of the things I do, mainly like in IT, but I do go out and go Uber as well to make some extra money. So, a woman fatally shot an Uber driver in Texas. Police say she wrongfully thought she was being kidnapped. So, in El Paso, Texas, a woman accused of shooting her Uber driver in West Texas after mistakenly believing that she was being kidnapped into Mexico has been charged with murder, authorities say. So Phoebe Copas, who's 48, she's from Tompkinsville, Kentucky, was visiting her boyfriend in El Paso, Texas, when the driver was shot June 16th. The El Paso Police Department says Copas, who shot 56, about 57, 52. Let me get this man's age right. Shot 52-year-old Daniel Garcia in the head while he was driving her to a location in far southeast El Paso. So, according to the complaint affidavit, Copas saw traffic signs that read, I guess, like Juarez, Mexico, during her ride and falsely believed that she was being kidnapped and being taken to Mexico. So, El Paso is on the U.S. Mexico border across from Juarez, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. El Paso police officers initially arrested and charged Copas on suspicion of aggravated assault, causing serious bodily harm, well, causing serious bodily injury. There we go. Copas was booked into El Paso County Jail and remained jailed on Sunday. With Paredes' death, or Pidra's death, the charge was upgraded to murder. So I guess he didn't die instantly. Like, he was taken to the hospital. So Copa's bond is now set at $1.5 million. So Phaedra picked up Copas around 2 p.m. in a gray Nissan Maxima. I have a blue Nissan Maxima. And was driving her, driving her to meet her with her boyfriend, the affidavit says. As they drove on US 54 southbound in south central El Paso, Copas saw traffic signs that showed the words Juarez, Mexico. That led to her believing that Pydra was trying to kidnap her. Yo, she ignorant as hell, yo. I just realized this shit because, you know what I'm saying? The driver is fucking, like, Latino. And, like, she saw the sign, like, that says, like, that's, I guess, like, saying, if you make this left, or I don't know which direction, if you make this turn, you know what I'm saying, you're going to end up in Mexico and shit like that. Yo, that's some ignorant ass shit. I just really thought about that. That's some ignorant and racist ass shit. Like, this motherfucker, like, she deserves to get locked the fuck up. Nah, think about it. That led her believe that Pedro was trying to kill her. Nah, I said kill her. Was trying to kidnap her and take her across the border. And looking from this chick, I'm like, yo, who the fuck would want to kidnap your ass anyway? You ain't even really that cute. So Copas is accused of grabbing a silver and brown handgun from her purse and shooting Pydra in the back right side of his head. According to the affidavit, the vehicle crashed into roadway barriers before coming to a stop on the freeway. The area where the car crashed was not in close proximity of a bridge, port of entry, or any other area with immediate access to travel to Mexico, the affidavit says. The roadway Copas was traveling on is a normal route to drive to the destination requested. Before calling 911, police say Copas took a picture of Pydra after he was shot and sent it to her boyfriend via text message. What the fuck? God, this bitch retarded, dog. Officers arrived at the scene and saw Copas being helped out the car by her boyfriend. Copas then dropped everything she was holding in her hands to the ground, including the brown and silver handgun, the affidavit says. Officers found Pydra slumped in the driver's seat. So Copas was detained as police investigated the shooting. Pydra was taken to University Medical Center El Paso for treatment. Pydra was declared brain dead at the hospital. So he was declared brain dead at the hospital for several days before his family took him off life support after doctors told them he would never recover. The decision devastated the family. Pydra's niece, Didi Lopez, said, His status was not going to change if we did not disconnect him, Lopez said. It was basically, he was basically just going to be in a vegetative state. We didn't want to see him suffering. We did not want him to live out his life like that. It was hard because we wanted him to, of course, wake up and continue living his life, but we basically didn't. But we basically didn't make the decision. The decision was made for us and for him the second those bullets went inside of his brain. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what the fuck this bitch, like, was she high or something? Like, this bitch had to be high. And then, like, she shot this man in the head. Didn't call 911 or nothing like that first. She texted her boyfriend. And then, I guess if the cops didn't respond in, the timely manner that they responded in, her boyfriend was probably going to try and get her the fuck up out of there. You know what I'm saying? That's wild. That's wild. Because, like, the boyfriend was at the scene and shit. So, I would just imagine that they would, try to run, So that's wild. So yeah, man, like this is a fucking sad story. So anybody that's listening to this and you a fellow Uber driver, you a Lyft driver or something like that, or any other ride sharing driver, always keep your head on the swivel, and because you never know what's going on with these fucking riders that we got in the back of our cars. You know what I'm saying? So everybody be vigilant, and riders stop being fucking dumbasses, yo. Like, for real. That's all I can really say. But yeah, everybody be safe, man. We just trying to get y'all to y'all destination safely and stop making shit harder for us. But most of the most of the riders that I encounter, everybody's cool. You know what I'm saying? You might get that one asshole or something like that, but everybody's cool. Like, everybody just be cool. That's all I can really say. All right, so I just want to thank everybody who took the time to listen to this episode of the podcast. And yeah, just continue to just thank you. And any supporters out there, you're always appreciated. If anybody wants me to, talk about a specific thing or anything like that, or have any recommendations, you can always click on the link at the bottom of wherever you're listening to this. There should be like I guess like it should say like, what was it, like Spotify podcast or some shit like that, whatever the fuck it is now. It should be a link at the bottom of the thing, and then like you can just click on there and leave a voicemail. Like leave a voicemail or voice message or something like that, and it'll pop up like in the app, or I'll eventually see it. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time out to listen to this, and everybody stay safe, stay vigilant, and I hope everybody continues to prosper and get better at everything that they do. So once again, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Talking to Myself, and I will get back at y'all in a timely manner. But thank you. Your boy is out. 1.